So what I wanted to do in this video is just talk about one very simple way which you can help your videos stand out from the rest. Now, have you ever watched a video and the music has been that loud that you can't hear whoever is talking to the camera because their voice is just buried below the music? It sounds a little bit like this. Okay, so a few weeks ago I made a video all about Luminar 4. Now Luminar 4 is an amazing... It sounds terrible. There is nothing worse on a video than not being able to hear the person speaking to the camera. Now you could possibly just lower the volume of the audio track playing underneath the voice, and this is what I used to do and what most people do tend to do, and that does work to an extent, and it sounds a little bit like this. Okay, so a few weeks ago I made a video all about Luminar 4. Now Luminar 4 is an amazing piece of... And that sounds okay, but there is one very simple way to help it stand out even more, and that is by cutting the mid frequencies of the music below the voice. Now, because your voice is a mid-range frequency, when you have a music track, your voice sits on top of that music track and takes up the same frequencies as the mid-range frequencies in the music. This means that your voice gets a little bit buried in the music, and it can be sometimes hard to pick out the voice from the music. It can sound a little bit too muddy. So by doing this, what we're effectively doing is literally scooping out the mids of the music. So if you imagine another line of music, you're going to scoop out those mid-range frequencies in the music, and then your voice can sit nicely where those mid-range frequencies that you have scooped out used to sit. And this just helps everything to feel a little bit more full and finished and complete. Your voice will sit nicely in the mix between the music and the video, but also it will feel like you can actually hear the music at a louder volume than you could if you just lowered the volume to be able to hear your voice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to screen record my Mac here. I have Final Cut open, and we're going to talk about how you actually do this, because it is very simple. Okay, so I have here Final Cut open, and I have just a short little clip from a video I was making the other day all about photo editing on Luminar AI. If you haven't seen that, I will link it up there so you can go and check it out. But I have already made some adjustments to the voice that I usually do. I had a bit of EQ to my voice, bass enhancer, and a little bit of compression as well. So if I turn the music off, it sounds like this. So I made a video all about Luminar 4. Now, okay, and if I turn the music on, I haven't made any adjustments to the music just yet, so it is full volume as it would be when you drag and drop music straight into Final Cut, and it sounds like this. A few weeks ago I made a video all about Luminar 4. Now Luminar 4 is you can't hear me at all. So what I used to do was I used to just take the volume down. You can either do it by dragging here or dragging up here. I used to take it down to about -20 until my voice used to stand out over the music, and that sounds like this. I made a video all about Luminar 4. Now Luminar 4 is and that does sound okay, but it sounds just a little bit muddy still. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna lift this back up to around about -11, which is a lot louder than I would have my music in any video ever before. But what we're gonna go and do is where it says equalization here, we're gonna click that little logo next to where it says flat, and this brings up the graphic equalizer. Now this is where you can cut your mid-range frequencies from the music. So I like to start around about the middle, either of these two here, and you're literally just going to drag these little circles down, and you create a little bit, almost like a little bit of a smiley face in the equalizer. And then you can maybe just boost the bass a little bit, and if there's any high frequencies that you really don't want in the video as well, you can take them down. I know there is in this track, so I'm going to just reduce them a little bit. So you've effectively created just that little U shape in the video, and that, bear in mind that this is at -11 decibels, sounds like this. Okay, so a few weeks ago I made a video all about Luminar 4. Now Luminar 4 is an amazing piece of photo editing. It's that simple. The music is still there, it's at a good volume to be able to hear. Your voice just sits in the mix a little bit more, it stands out a lot more, and it just sounds a lot more polished. It feels like the finished product now that your voice is sitting perfectly in the video. And there's not really that much more to it. You can play around with these little circles on the EQ as much as you want until you find the range that your voice sits in to that specific track, and you don't have to worry about anything else. What you can then do if you are using Final Cut, now if you are using Premiere Pro, you can go and do exactly the same in this. I'm not sure of the process around it in Premiere because I've never used it, but the same concept applies, just scooping the mids out of the music and let your voice sit in the mix perfectly. But what you can do if you're using Final Cut is you can save it as an effects preset. So I'm going to click there, bear in mind I've changed the EQ here. I'm going to click Save Effects Preset, it's got the volume and the EQ. You can then call it Music EQ for Talking Vids. Choose where you want it to be saved in your little presets pack down here in Final Cut. So I'm going to choose, I'm just going to save it in voice because I know where that is, and then I'm going to click save. And then when you go down here into voice, you'll be able to find it here, and there it is. And then next time you've got some music, all you need to do is drag and drop it onto there, and job done. It really is incredibly easy, and you'll never look back. Your videos will feel a lot more finished and polished off and just stand out from others a little bit more. So that's it for this video. I hope it helps if you are looking at improving your videos just a little bit every time you go to make a new video. If you like what you see in this channel, my name is Scott Edwards. Click that little subscribe button just down below there. Come and be a part of this community, and I shall see you all in another video.